Hi guys, I'm Holland and I'm coming to you from West Michigan. Today I have 3 projects I would like to share with you, but first I'm frustrated. I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with ADHD and I have a strong suspicion that I struggle also with dyslexia. I wasn't anticipating this video being a video about learning disabilities or mental health, but here we are. You never know what you're gonna get in like the knitting community, right? One of the things I struggle with regarding dyslexia is I have a very hard time with left and right. That's something I learned a few years ago that people struggle with, is the directionals. For me, it's always been left and right. I'm sure you know when you're trying to do your driving test and someone says, oh, turn left, and you do, but they're like, no, your other left. Like, well, I don't fucking know. And then people are like, well, when you hold your hand and make it an L, then the left one is the one that's an L. And I'm like, that doesn't help me because they're both an L. So that's a struggle I have, especially when it comes to written instructions. And that's one thing that I really love about chart instructions, is a chart is a picture. I can see what the shape is doing. I can see where it's aiming. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of chart instructions out there. So I try to deal the best I can with written instructions. There are some things that help. There's little rhymes you can make up in your head. There's little, I don't know, like phrases you can say that help you remember which way to go. For me, when it comes to make one right, make one left in knitting, I always have to think and remember first which way left and right is. I guess for some people, for neurotypical people, it's just something that comes naturally. You say right, and they already, without thinking, know which way it is. I can't do that. When it comes to make one left, make one right for me, like I said, I have to first remember which way is left and right. And then my little memory jog, the thing that helps me, for make one right, you pick up the bar between the stitches. You insert the needle from back to front and you knit on the front leg. For make one left, you insert the needle from front to back and you knit on the back leg. So that helps me with the stitch itself, but I still have a really hard time remembering, are we going left or are we going right? The thing I love about raglan increases is that typically you start with the make one right, and so I always know to insert the needle from back to front first. One thing I'm struggling with, and I actually have it for you, it's not this one. This is my new cast on. The thing I struggle with this one, I have a V neckline. For V neckline increases, you do it as if it's a raglan, but a raglan on opposite sides, if that makes sense to you. So instead of starting with make one right, you would start with make one left, because you're starting on the back side of that raglan increase. The other thing I really struggle with is when you're working on the wrong side of the work. Make one left and make one right on the wrong side doesn't make any sense to me at all. I was trying to find little reminders that helped me remember. Am I making one left still because I'm on the wrong side, or do I make one right because I'm on the wrong side and it's opposite? At this point, I still don't know. I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. One thing that does help me is using visual cues, like with the raglan increases, you can see the little bar that it makes. I don't know how well you can see that, but you can see these little bars that they make when you increase. So when I'm making one on the wrong side, I have to start the process and then I have to look back to see if I'm making the picked up stitch twist the correct direction. I almost always do it the wrong direction first. So that's very frustrating. That's very time consuming because I just want to be able to zoom through it. But every time I have an interesting stitch, I have to take a minute and look at it, get confused, think about it, and then proceed. There's no easy just zooming through it. That's my frustration. That's what I have to say about it. Let's get on to the fun stuff. Since I already have my brand new work in progress present, let's start talking about that one. This is my Belgian sweater. Is there a good place for me to put this, or do I just have to hold it up the whole time? One day I would really like to have a body form. I think that would be really cool. Quite a few of my favorite knitting podcasters have a body form, and it looks so good, and it's such an awesome way for them to show off their project that they're working on. So I guess until I get a body form or a hanger or something, we get to hold it up like this. This is my Belgian sweater. I got the yarn from Antwerp in Belgium. It was a beautiful yarn store called Julia's. They had so much yarn, and one thing I really appreciate about Europe is their yarn is insanely cheap compared to the yarn that I've seen here in the States. One ball of this gorgeous mohair, I don't even know how much mohair is in this. This mohair is Fanti Ambel. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Someone please correct me. This Fanti Ambel is a 50-gram ball, or it's 145 meters. I think that's a pretty good amount considering it's mohair. It is a little bit thicker than other mohairs I've seen. It's not very thin and fine, but it's got some good heft. It's got some good weight to it. I really enjoy it. I think it's really nice. I'm going to be using 5 balls of this. So throughout this sweater, there will be 5 color changes. You can see I've already started on one of the color changes, and I've got more to say about that later. But I also want to show you the base yarn that I'm using. I'm not just using a yarn or a mohair. I'm holding it double with this. This is some really great hand-dyed yarn from Julia. I don't know if Julia is just the name of the shop or if Julia is an actual person, but this is some really great hand-dyed yarn. It's got some little peachy splotches in it. This is Stellina Merino. It's 100% superwash merino. I bought 2 balls of this. They're both 100 grams each, but each ball has like 400 meters in it. And I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't pay attention to that typically, but I'm trying to. That's a really awesome amount of yarn. So altogether, I've got about 800 meters, yards. Did I say yards first? I don't know. I think I'm done caring right now. But I've got about like 800 meters of this. So I'm really hoping that that should be able to be enough to complete this sweater. I didn't put a big dent in it yet. It's still got quite a bit left to this ball, and I've already got almost to the point of splitting for sleeves done. So that's really cool too. This sweater features raglan increases. Thus, while I was talking about why raglans help me remember the make one right and the make one left, because as you can see, you are making one right and making one left. I don't know, right, left, as you're increasing your way down it. So it's a simple, easy recipe, just 4 raglan increases. Like I said before, the neckline is also sort of a raglan increase. If you hold it together, it would be raglan-esque, where you have your make one right and then your make one left. I don't know if I'm pointing at the right side or not. I'm just pointing at something. I'm sure you guys get the gist. The increases for the neckline are every 3 rows instead of every 2 rows, which is why I was also saying making one right or left on the wrong side is a big challenge for me. Up here, early on, if you really look at it closely, you can see that I was absolutely struggling with which one is the make one left and make one right. So it's a mishmash, but once I got to about here-ish, I kind of figured it out. It's only like 6 messed up stitches. That's not bad, and if you're not too critical, they still do what I want it to do. The other thing I love about it, this fuzzy mohair really disguises my mistakes, so it's fine. It's a learning process. One of these days I'll get it down. But yeah. I'm doing the increases for the neckline every 3 rows, so that way I get a nice deep neckline. I prefer a deeper V-neck to a more shallow V-neck. I also understand when it's time for me to pick up stitches and add the collar, it's going to cinch this in a little bit, making it ever so slightly smaller, but I want to make sure there's enough room there to account for. One thing I hate about garments of any type is when you've got a super tight neck. I hate feeling strangled by my outfits. It's not good, it's not cute. The other thing I prefer about V necklines is because I've got broad enough shoulders as a female, and I've got broad enough other body parts. If I wear a tight neckline, it just makes my whole upper body a blocked out square. And I need some interest in there just to break it up a little bit. The other thing I like to feature on this sweater, back to the sweater instead of me, where the color change has happened, let me get that for you. Where the color change has happened, you can see an ever so slight color work going on. My color work I have on here is a very slight, a very subtle scalloping pattern. You can see it a lot better in this light than you can see in any other light. I really like that. And I like too, because I'm holding this mohair double with this superwash merino, it gives a really neat marled effect. That marled effect is really cool. I like it a lot. I actually had to do the scalloping color work twice, because the first time I wasn't paying attention because my brain was going about a mile a minute and I just wanted to get started. So I had actually done the scalloping upside down. Since this is my pattern and I'm the one designing it, I could have kept it like that and nobody would have known the wiser, but I would have known. I would have known and I don't want it like that. I want it like this. So I'm really happy that I frogged it back. It's only a 4-row color work, so I frogged it back 4 rows and did it the way that I wanted it to be. And I'm super happy with the way it's turning out. But as of right now, that is my Belgium sweater. Moving on, I have an existing work in progress, one that you guys have seen before. This, of course, is my Love's Cable sweater. My Love's Cable sweater, you can now see, is at a pretty good length. I've got a pretty good amount of sleeves going on. My Love's Cable sweater is knit with Plymouth Yarns Encore Tweed. The Encore Tweed, I'm just gonna put the statistics right here. I don't have the capacity to go back pages in my notebook and figure it out for you. Maybe I do. I just wrote it down. Stats are there. When I last left you with this sweater, the sleeves were about 8 inches long, so that brings us to about here. I finished with the decreases of the sleeve, so it's a nice tapered look. You can really see how tapered it is there. I finished with the decreases, then I'm going to wet block this. After the wet blocking, I'm gonna see how long these sleeves stretch out. If they are still not long enough, I'm going to just keep knitting them with the pattern. I'm not going to include any more decreases. I'm just gonna keep going until the sleeves are long enough. Once the sleeves are completed, I'm going to add a 1x1 rib. That way it matches the 1x1 rib in this cowl neckline. You'll be able to see the cowl neckline really good as my partner models it for you. As you can see too with my partner modeling this sweater, the sweater is quite short. I ran out of the yarn in this dye lot, and so as I continue, or if I need to add length after I've blocked it, I'm going to use the leftover yarn from the sleeves, and then if I need to, I'll do some helical knitting for the hem of the sweater. And we'll see when we get there. That's the other beauty of crafting is sometimes you get things that are unexpected, but they still look really nice. So that is my Love's Cable sweater that we've been talking about, I think, ever since I've known you guys. The last thing I have to share with you is a piece from the archives. I've been bringing up archive pieces. I hope you guys really enjoy them. This piece from the archives is a crocheted item. It is a wonderful self-drafted tank top, crop top, however you want to call it. I don't know the name of the thread or the yarn that I was using. I do know that it was by Loops and Threads from Michaels. If I find the information, I'll share it with you here. But it is using something or rather Loops and Threads from Michaels. It is a pretty fine yarn, and you can see because it's such a drapey, airy garment, you might be able to tell that I crocheted it using quite a bit of a larger hook than one would anticipate. The granny squares, this is a good one. The granny squares I crocheted for this one are the African flower pattern. Like I said before, because I have a really hard time reading written words, I used a chart that I found on Pinterest. I love Pinterest because it is so visual. It works with my brain so much better than other things I've seen. But yeah, so I crocheted up 8 of these African flower granny squares, and then I crocheted them together. You can see what I did there. I crocheted them together. For the neckline and the straps, I used a much smaller, much tighter hook. I love the colors that I chose. From a distance, they look pretty cohesive, but as we get closer, it's kind of got a little bit of a retro vibe going on. I really love how the colors all work together on this one. Some things you may be able to see as I'm talking about it. It's been a little chewed up. One of my kitty cats, Talbert, this is his favorite yarn, and it's his favorite yarn in a digestive way. There's something about it, I think because it's so acrylic, he loves eating and chewing on this yarn. And when I say eating this yarn, I don't mean that lightly, like, oh, he's just chewing it apart. I mean, he's eating it. He's digesting it and he's pooping it out. Because of my new baby Talbert, I've had to keep my house much, much cleaner because I was tired of my clothes getting eaten. So this is one area he ate. He really enjoys the tips of the corners. You can see there's a good one he ate. You can see here's a good one he ate. This granny square here, he ate a good hole through the middle of it. Look, I can just stick my face through it. I would like to redo this tank top anyway because it's massive. This tank top is huge on me. I would like to say that I could give it away to a friend that it would fit better, but I would feel terrible giving them something that's half eaten by a monster cat. When I redo the sweater, it's not a sweater. When I redo this tank top, I think I'm just going to leave out this row of purples where I crocheted each granny square together. I'm either going to just crochet them together with some stitches of purple. Yeah, I think I'll do that because I really like the purple in it. Or I may just crochet the tips of the reds together. That'll help save on some inches. But we will see. Another thing I can do to help decrease the size of this is use a smaller hook. I think for this one I used a size 5 Susan Bates hook, but it might have been a 6. Whichever one the blue one is, that's the one I used. So I might go down a hook size, or I might just eliminate some of the rows that I put into this. The other thing I would like to change when I redo this sweater, instead of having the straps front to back like this, I would like to have the straps cross each other. When I wear this sweater, because it's so big and because the straps are front to back, it has a tendency of falling off my shoulder, and then I'm only wearing half the sweater while everything up top is just exposed. Yes, it is an exposing tank top. I don't know why I keep calling it a sweater. I'm sorry. It is quite a lacy tank top, but that doesn't mean I want everything to be out and on display. So when I crochet this tank top again, I am going to cross the straps so that way it has less of an opportunity to fall off my shoulders and really make me sad in public. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in and listening to some more solemn words instead of more upbeat. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any tips, if you have any tricks in helping remember, make one right, make one left, if you have anything at all, please, please, please comment and let me know. I'm sure it won't only help me, but it would also help anybody who happens to be watching, anyone else who may be struggling with their lefts and rights like I am. But once again, I want to thank you guys for listening to me. It means a lot to see you again, and I hope I'll see you again. I almost said in 2 weeks, but in 1 week, I think I'm going to have another segment of videos for you guys to watch. So tune in next week around this time, and I hope you enjoy what I have cooking up for you. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.